Okay guys, so I'm really sorry I'm not here in class today, and I know you just watched a video, and I feel really bad that I'm making you watch another video, but I don't want you to get behind, and I want to be able to do an activity tomorrow. So these are in class notes. So on the left hand side, you should have the notes that you did last night. Those should be completely filled out. So on the right hand side, you should have glued these notes in, and your substitute should have already told you to do that. So what I am going to do is go over this with you. So Ms. Grenade talked about similar figures. Okay, similar figures are figures that are the same shape but different sizes. And she used some vocabulary words like corresponding and proportional probably. Corresponding just means in the same position. So we're going to talk tomorrow about people in our room that are in the same position, and I would tell you right now, but since this is for 2 classes, you won't really understand what I'm talking about. So if I highlight S and T, and you should have a highlighter. I will tell her that everybody should get a highlighter or 2. What I said S to T, what side corresponds? What side is in the same position of the other triangle? Should have said D and E. Okay. Now highlight your another corresponding side. I'm going to say S and U. Okay. Think about what would be your other corresponding side. Okay, you should have said DF. Do you see how they're in the same position? They're just in different triangles. And the last corresponding side I see is this side corresponds with this side. Now, you can sit here all day and say, well, Ms. Hitchcock, those look like they're similar because they look like they're the same shape. Okay, yes, they look like each other, but sometimes pictures are deceiving. So we have to make sure, and there's 2 ways. You can either check by the angles. If all the angles in a triangle are the same, they're similar. But I don't see any angles in this one, so I know I'm going to have to compare my sides. So here's the great thing. When you're given 3 sides, all 3 sides of the triangle, you get to cross out a side. You don't have to do one of the sides. So does not matter which triangle or which side you cross out, but whichever side you cross out, you have to cross out the same side on the corresponding side. So for instance, I'm going to cross out 16C or 16 centimeters, and if I cross out 16 centimeters on this one, I need to cross out 4, 6, or 8. Good, you should have said 8. Alright, now normally we're going to talk about given and unknown figures later, because for this we set up a WGU. We set up a proportion, right? When we set up WGU, Miss Grenade told you it's always going to be short side, and I abbreviate SS over long side. Now, it does not matter which one's the given and which one's the unknown for now. It will eventually, but for today only, it does not matter. So I'm going to make this one the given and this one the unknown. Label your triangles given and unknown. You always want to make sure your triangles are labeled. So now that I've labeled given and unknown, I'm going to come to my given column right here, and I'm going to look at the sides I have left, and I need to determine which one. Y'all need to be looking up here if you're not. Which side is the short side, 10 centimeters or 12 centimeters? You should have said 10 centimeters is the short side and 12 centimeters is the long side. Now, in our unknown triangle, with our 2 sides left, which side is the short side, 4 or 6? Again, you should be looking up here, not writing on your paper. 4 or 6? You should have said 4 centimeters is the short side and 6 centimeters is the long side. Now let's look at what we have. We had the short side is 10 and 4. Well, what do you notice? 10 and 4 are both the yellow highlighter because those are both corresponding sides. Same with the 12 and the 6. The 12 and the 6 were the pink sides. Okay, so now that we've set this up correctly, we know you've set it up correctly because your colors match up. I'm going to set up a proportion because remember a WGU chart is just another way to look at proportions. So 10 over 12 is equal to 4 over 6. Now, if these 2 triangles are proportional, if we cross multiply our 2 numbers, we should get the same thing. So what I mean by that is 6 times 10 is what? Good, it's 60. 12 times 4 is 48. Now, what I meant by that is, if these two triangles are similar, these two numbers would have been the same thing. Are these the same thing? No, they're not. So, not similar. Similar. Alright, let's go on to number 2. If it doesn't make sense, it'll make sense in a little bit. Don't stress, and I'm going to be there tomorrow. I'm going to highlight 16, and these are facing the same way. So I know that if I highlighted the top one over here, I'll highlight this one over here. In similar shapes, you need to ensure, that means make sure that your shapes are always going the same direction. If they're not, you're not going to be highlighting the right things. If I highlight this side, I should highlight this side. And last but not least, if I highlight the last sides, they should also be corresponding. Remember, corresponding, same position. Okay? Alright, so we know we're going to just make one our G and one our U. It doesn't matter which one. Could have flip-flopped them. Now, I remember that my angles, if my angles are all equal in both triangles, that they're similar. But the problem here is I don't have any angle measures here. So I can't judge it based off angles. I have to judge it based off sides. And we just talked about in this one that I have 3 sides. And when you get 3 sides, you get to eliminate a side. You don't have to use all 3 sides, because in a WGU we really only need 2 sides. So it literally does not matter. I don't know, maybe I'll just take off the 16, and the 16 corresponds with the 12. So I'll take off that. It literally would work the same exact way if you took off the 24 and the 18 instead of the 16 and the 12. It would have worked the same exact way. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, you get to choose. You have the option. So I know I'm doing a WGU. And when we're doing similar shapes or similar figures, we always do short side over long side for our words. Now I've already labeled this triangle as my given triangle, so I know I'm going to fill in this information here with the information here. I have 24 and I have 20. Between these two, think in your head which one's the short one and which one's the long one, and go ahead and fill it in. You should have filled in that. 20 is short and 24 is long of the given triangle. Short, 20, given. Long, 24, given. Okay, now I have my unknown triangle, my unknown columns filling in next. 15 is my short, 18 is my long. Now check to make sure your sides corresponding. 20 and 15, 20 and 15, good. 24 and 18, 24 and 18, good. So I know I've set up my WGU table right. Now I need to take out a proportion. So I have 20 over 24 is equal to 15 over 18. Now I'm going to ask the substitute to pause the video right now. And I want you guys to cross multiply these numbers. Put your answers right here, like we did over here. Put your answers right here and see if these are the same. If they're the same, these triangles are similar. If they're not the same, they're not similar. Tell me what you get for these numbers. Okay, she should have paused it for you. If not, you have a very nice substitute. 24 times 15, you should have got 360. And 20 times 18, you should have got 360. So these numbers are the same, and what did I just say? If the numbers are the same, then the shapes are similar. I'm just going to put R sim to save a little bit of time. I know this is probably going to be long. Alright, halfway done. Hope we're getting a little bit more of a hang of things. Okay, next we need to look at our triangles, and we need to highlight our what? Do you remember the name? It's on the vocab word wall. It's in the second column to the, or I guess it's the second column. 3 shapes down, it's in blue writing. It says corresponding. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this and this. This and this. This and this. Now, I see angle measures. I'm always going to check for angles first, because angles are easy to compare. Angles, no angles. Can't use the angle trick. Okay, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Do I need all 3? No. I would ask you which ones you guys want to cross out, but since I literally have nobody in my classroom right now, I wish you could see. I'm talking to myself. I'm just going to pick. And since I'm going to pick to cross out 72 and 24. Mostly because 72 is a pretty big number and I don't want to multiply it. Alright, label this one given, this one unknown. Does it matter which one? Could I have labeled this given and this one unknown? Yes, but only for today. Normally it would matter which one. And I haven't told you why it matters or how you determine it, but normally it would matter. So, we know we're going to do WGU because when we do similar figures or shapes, we always compare with the WGU. Short side over long side, that's going to be memorized in a little bit. Alright, in my given shape, which side is my short side? Between 36 and 54. Good, 36 and 54 is my long side. In my unknown shape, which one's my short side? Good, 12 and 18. You should also see that 12 and 36 are corresponding. And 54 and 18 are corresponding. Okay, now what do? Good, you pull it out and set up a proportion. Cross multiply. Again, I'm going to ask the substitute to pause it because I really want you guys to be multiplying. And I want you to multiply these together and figure out what you get. Alright, 36 times 18 is, you should have gotten 648. And 54 times 12 is 648. What does this mean? It means they are similar. Yay! Alright, so last but not least, I have squares now. Now we haven't, or not squares, quadrilaterals, I should have said. That's a more appropriate term. We haven't looked at quadrilaterals yet, so this is a good one to talk about. So again, you're going to highlight your corresponding sides. The sides that are in the same position. This might be a little bit easier to see sides that are in the same position. I have highlighters everywhere. Alright, so now that I've highlighted all my corresponding sides, I always check for what first? Yeah, I always check for angles. So, do I have angles in this shape? In this quadrilateral? Yes, I do. I see 105, 105, 75, 75. Do I see angles in this shape? If you said no, I want you to look a little bit more closely right here. Okay, this means a right angle. This means that this angle is 90 degrees. Okay, so I know that just like corresponding sides go together, so do corresponding angles. So this angle corresponds with this angle. This angle corresponds with this angle. This angle corresponds with this angle, and I'm running out of shapes. I don't know what else to draw, so A and M go together too. Alright, well, I see that this one's 75 and this one's 90. Are my sides equal? In angles, they have to be equal. So, if this was 90, then this would have to be 90. Or vice versa. If this was 75, this would have to be 75. Are these equal? 75 is equal to 90? Is that a true statement? No, it's not. When it's not a true statement, we draw a line through the equal sign. This means 75 is not equal to 90. Kind of think of it as like a, you know when you have like the circle and it has like a cell phone in the middle and you draw a line through it and it's like, that means no cell phones allowed. This means not equal. So they're not equal. If you were to set up a WGU, you would see that these are equal, and so the proportion for the sides would be equal, but the sides and the angles also have to be equal. So just because the sides are proportional, the angles aren't. So not similar, because angle, that's what the abbreviation for angle is. Angles are not equal. Okay, so we're going to make a...
Please pardon this interruption. At this time, if a student that is in your classroom has on a red party bracelet, whether or not they have the blue or not, they have to have a red party bracelet. They are dismissed to go to the gym quietly, and they will be there the rest of the day.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, if they're not equal. In similar figures, sides have to be, you need to be writing this, have to be proportional. I'm going to put WGU because that's how we figure out they're proportional. Angles have to be congruent, which is a fancy new word, or that means equal. Okay? Next, after y'all finish this, if you need to watch it again, please let the substitute know that you need to rewind it. If you didn't catch anything, please let her know, and maybe she can pause it on this screen right here. Next, she's going to pass out the classwork. You do not have the classwork for homework. I am telling you right now, there is no classwork for homework. I want you to turn in whatever you don't finish into the tray. Right? And then after you turn it into the tray, I want you, sorry, not after you turn it into the tray, I just lied to you. Once you turn it into the tray, if you're going through the classwork and you're finding yourself stuck, I want you to circle the questions you have. Try asking your shoulder partner first. If your shoulder partner doesn't know, then please just circle it and I'll answer any questions you have tomorrow. I promise. We're going to do the 10 minutes asking questions. I'll give you 20 minutes to revise and edit. Please do not stress out. You have no homework tonight. Do you have homework tonight? Y'all all better have answered because I probably look like an idiot right now talking to myself. Okay. Love y'all. Have a good night. Bye.